Today, we're going to be giving you guys the best Warzone Season 3 Verdansk settings. I'm talking about it'll help your FPS by a lot, have you shooting straight, and of course, audio and more. Let's get right into it. So first off, we're going to start off with graphics. You're going to want to make sure you're on full screen exclusive. Obviously, make sure you're on the right screen refresh rate because sometimes that resets. And then this is kind of optional for brightness. I like to go, its default is 50. I usually go like 52, 53. Just because the game can be a little bit dark. For this NVIDIA reflex low latency, make sure it's on or on plus boost. And then VSync gameplay, VSync menus, obviously have those off. Focus mode is 0, and then you're going to want to go to quality. Now, there's obviously a lot of settings here, but we're going to go through them very quickly. For upscaling sharpening, I like fidelity cast the most. Now, it does hurt your frames a little bit, but the quality, I mean, it's so much better. So I have it on fidelity cast. 90. You can go all the way to 100, but then it looks a little too sharp, but it makes such a big difference in the quality. Have the VRAM scale target on 70. Now, texture resolution on normal because it makes the game look a little better and doesn't hurt your PC that much in terms of frames. Low, off, low, very low, off, on, low, and minimal. I'm going to go through these pretty quick. Just, you know, copy them. Low, very low, off, 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 low, off, low, off with the head. Now, obviously, we're focusing on performance mainly, so that's why a lot of those settings are off. So now we go to view. FOV 120 is pretty much the go-to in Warzone. You can drop it down to like 115 maybe, but ideally you want to be on max FOV. And then you want to put your ADS field of view to affected. This is going to give you that basically lower or no visual recoil. So it's going to seem like you're shooting lasers, which you probably are once you have these two on. Then you want to make sure world motion blur and weapon motion blur are both off. And your first person camera movement is all the way down to 50%. That's going to reduce that random shaking on your screen. And then inverted flashbang, honestly, turn this on so you don't go blind. Next, let's talk about the second most important thing, and it's going to be controller settings. Now, so you can copy some of this in terms of mouse and key, because obviously, but in terms of actual settings, I do play on 1.6, 1.6. It feels the most consistent, especially when it comes to centering. This is what a lot of the pros play on as well. I would say probably go up to like 1.7 highest, but try not to go too high because it's going to mess with your aim. I do play on tactical flip, as you can see here, and I do play with a swapped L1 and R1. Now, for your dead zone inputs, I think this is very important. Your left stick minimum, if you want to have elite movement, make sure your left stick minimum is at like 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? You won't really notice stick drift on your left stick. And then your max, somewhere between 60 to 70. I'm telling you, this will make such a big difference in your movement. You'll get less dead slides, you'll sprint quicker, etc. Right stick minimum, I'll say somewhere between 1 to 5, depending on your stick drift. But, you know, I would say try not to go any higher than 5, because then it starts messing with your aim in a bad way. So I currently have mine on 1 or 2, just because I don't really have any stick drift at all. And then max, you don't touch the max. Left trigger 0, right trigger 0. Then aiming, obviously you want to go to aiming advanced movement. I do play on instant. It just feels the best, especially when it comes to snapping on multiple targets, or like when people are hitting with movements, you're able to keep up. So instant just feels the best. Then aim response curve type, dynamic is just the go-to, man. It's the best one. I really recommend that one. Obviously, sometimes people feel like they want to lower your sensitivity multiplier, so you can right here. Just go down. I have mine on 0.99 right now, depending on what you want, but overall, these settings feel pretty good. Now let's talk about very important movement settings. So first of all, you're going to want sprint assist, tactical sprint assist on. That's going to help you. That's basically automatic tactical sprint. It's going to allow you to move quick around the map, have better movement, have better slides, have it on 0, and make sure these two are on for the omni movement. Mantle assist off. You don't want to get randomly assist. Crouch assist off. Corner slice off. I do play on hybrid for Warzone. Now diving is obviously really good in Warzone, and you do want to be able to dive. I would recommend you to play hybrid only or tap the slide. Those two are the best when it comes to Warzone. Automatically airborne mantle, you're going to want to make sure to have this off. I don't know if this was on. Sprint restore and slide maintain sprint. Make sure these two settings are both on. Parachute automatic behavior, make sure that's off because you do not want that happening to you. Mantle cancels reload, you can have that on. And then you want to go to movement advanced settings. Now, this one, auto door peek, I think it's on by default, but make sure this was on. And then a big one here is for this tactical sprint activation, make sure it's single tap run. It's going to allow you to basically have, again, smoother movement. Plunging underwater, free, and then sprinting door bash on. Now, there's a few settings when it comes to combat, so let's go over it very quickly. So a lot of these are default, but obviously you're going to want to make sure that your armor plate behavior is on apply all. And then you're going to want to make sure you go to combat advanced settings, and then your interact reload behavior is on prioritize interact. Now, this is obviously going to make you pick up guns quicker, loot quicker. As soon as you press square or whatever button it is instant does everything, which is awesome in Warzone because you're doing a lot of things. Now, let's talk about a few interface settings really quickly because there's some important things here. So first of all, if you want to go here, you can add server latency, FPS counter, packet loss, whatever, GPU temperature, whatever you want. Now, if you go to readability and go to custom color customization, you're going to want to make sure you put this on filter 2. It's going to, and both, and then put it on 100, 100. This is going to make your colors pop more, and it's going to look a lot better. You can also mess with these things, but I don't really like touching these things, to be honest. I just keep those default. Then gameplay HUD, make sure your minimap shape is square. It's going to make it a little bigger. Minimap rotation on. And then obviously you're going to want to make sure if you go down here for crosshairs, put it on static, and also put a middle dot in your screen. This is going to allow you to have better centering, kind of be on target, you know, when you're centering on people or centering on your target. When you have that little dot, I personally like it on larger. Default looks too small and largest looks a little absurd. So larger, and then you can change the color, you know, yellow, blue, red, whatever you want it to be. Then we're going to want to go to audio. Obviously, one of the most important things when it comes to Call of Duty and Warzone. So you're going to want to go to audio, show more. Now, this is what I have. Master game volume 100, because obviously that's the most important. Gameplay 0, least important. Cinematic music volume 0, least important. Dialogue volume, it can help sometimes when a character goes, yo, there's a guy in front of you. I don't think they really say that, but you get the point. They call out kill streaks sometimes. They call out certain things that it can be useful. So you definitely want to have a little bit dialogue volume. And then effects volume, obviously the most important. But that's like footsteps, gunshots, just every sound in general. Keep that on 100 as well. And then you just kind of, you know, if you're using a mix amp or whatever you're using to control your audio, you know, you can put it higher or lower depending on that. Then you're going to want to go all the way down and make sure this setting is on. It's basically going to help, you know, concussions, flash grenade, shell shock with a like lower dual sound versus like that big boom, you know, it's kind of hits you in the face and in your ears. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If this helped you in any way, leave a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. And as always, I stream on YouTube and Twitch every single day, so make sure to stop by and come support me live. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.